On the news tonight, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori is set to inaugurate completed projects as part of activities to mark 1 year in office. State government assures Deltans of access to quality healthcare services without discrimination. Federal government declares Tuesday and Wednesday public holidays to mark Eid al-Fitr. Abroad, makeshift ferry disaster claims 96 lives in Mozambique. Hello, good evening, and thanks for joining us on Delta TV Main News. I am Mora Isupa. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has said his administration has completed numerous projects across the 3 senatorial districts of the state, billed for inauguration as part of activities to mark his first year in office. Governor Oborevwori said this while inspecting the Edo Road in Ugeli, the Emevo Orogun Road in Isoko North, the bridge across the Obo River at Ogwashuku in Sector C1 of the Ugeli-Asaba Road dualization, and the 5.3 kilometers Opanam Ibuzo bypass road in Oshimle North local government area. Ejume Udweme report.
The governor, who was conducted around the projects by the Commissioner for Works, Highways and Urban Roads, Comrade Ruben Izezi, and his counterpart in charge of rural and riverine roads, Mr. Charles Aniago, said he would start inauguration of projects before May 29. At the Edo Road in Ugeli being constructed by Obakbo Engineering Limited, Governor Oborevwori said the visit was to ascertain the level of work on the project.
So, there's no local government that will be left out. We're very sure that all the local government will make sure to put in projects that will impact on the people. So this is going to be part of my 1 year in office. I'm very sure that this project will be commissioned by next month. I'm very impressed with the local contractors. Yes, the big contractors, the ones that are not from the local, they are doing well. Like you can see that the government now is mixed. Both the local are participating in the contract. Julobega is doing, CC is doing, Levant is doing. But I'm very happy with local contractors.
He said the introduction of some box culverts was to channel water away from the road to make it durable, stressing that the Ring Road project, when completed, would help to reduce traffic congestion at the Otowodo junction. On the 4.4 kilometers Emevo Orogun Road, Governor Oborevwori said he was happy with the pace of work, pointing out that the core mandate of his administration was to execute people-oriented projects in all parts of the state.
Any road construction in Delta State is the Deltans that will use it, and other people coming to Delta State will use it. So any road that we are doing, whether federal or state, as a government, what we know that benefit the people, that will make our people to suffer, is very important.
Also speaking on the deployment of concrete technology in road construction, Governor Oborevwori said the state government was already using the technology in some roads, including the Uduere Road and Edo Road in Ugeli. The governor reiterated that roads in the state, whether federal or state, would benefit from his government's development agenda, pointing out that whatever would impact Deltans positively would remain dear to his heart. Ejime Uduime reporting.
Meanwhile, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has said the multi-billion naira Udu Harbour Markets in Udu local government area will be ready for inauguration in April next year. Governor Burberry gave the assurance after inspecting ongoing works on the project, which according to him had been delayed for too long. Over again to Ejime Udweme.
The governor, who was accompanied by the commissioners for trade and investments, Mr. Samuel Uligida, housing, Honorable Godnose Angele, and oil and gas, Chief Vincent Uyibode, assured the contractor of prompt payments of his certificates, while warning that his administration had zero tolerance for shoddy jobs.
The project has been on since 2006. We should complete it. We should complete it. You remember that it's not only this market. There are other projects we are going to do in Udu. So not only on this market.
He urged the contractor to increase the pace of work so as to deliver the projects on time as promised, stressing that he was impressed with the progress made so far. While reiterating that there will be no abandonment of projects under his watch, the governor said the project on completion would boost commerce in Udu town.
Among the biggest in this state, there are other things that will also be needed here. They also need warehouse, but you have to finish this one. So because this project is big, so if you don't finish this one, going to another one. This project has been since 2006.
The market under construction has 600 lock-up stores and 122 open stores. Ejime Udweme reporting.
State Deputy Governor Sir Monday Oyeme has decried the indulgence of youths in court-related activities and other vices and called on stakeholders to work assiduously to help address the scourge by bringing it to the barest minimum. Sir Oyeme spoke while playing host to members of the police campaign against cultism and other vices, POCACOV, led by the National Coordinator, Chief Superintendent of Police, CSP Olabisi Okonobi, in his office at the Government House, Asaba. Paraboto has details of the report.
The Deputy Governor said concerted efforts must be made by all relevant stakeholders to reduce the incidences of court-related activities in the state, as several youths have been lured into joining court groups, thereby jeopardizing their future. He commended the leadership and members of the police campaign against cultism and other vices for their efforts in carrying out campaigns against cultism, prostitution, and other vices in the society, saying the focus should be preventive rather than corrective. Sir Oyeme, who is the grand patron of the police campaign against cultism and other vices, pledged the support of the state government to the group, saying their activities would assist in redirecting youth into productive ventures. The deputy governor urged the Delta State Coordinator, Honorable Isioma Okonta, not to rest on his oars by ensuring that the message got to every part of the state and should meet regularly to appraise their efforts. He noted that cultism and other vices should not be encouraged in the society, as it had destroyed the lives of many people, adding that schools and parents should teach their children on the dangers of cultism and other vices.
Activities in another light, instead of looking at it from a corrective point of view, and looking at it, we are going to look at it from a preventive point of view, which is the best way.
Sir Oyeme called on youths to engage in productive ventures and shun acts that were inimical to their progress, adding that the Oborowori administration had youth empowerment programs where they could learn skills to better their lives. The National Coordinator, Police Campaign Against Cultism and Other Vices, Pokakov, Chief Superintendent of Police, CSP Olabisi Okonobi, said the mandate was a preventive policing strategy rather than arrest and prosecution. She said Pokakov had recorded success as several cultists had renounced their membership of cult groups and dropped their weapons, adding that the Inspector General of Police, IG Kayode Igbetokun, has stressed the need for rehabilitation, reintegration, and decriminalization of repentant cultists. CSP Okonobi said Pokakov had provided the platform for cult members to retrace their steps and be fully reintegrated into the society so that they can be useful to themselves and the society.
It's totally different from law enforcement. It's because law enforcement on its own is a situation whereby you arrest, you prosecute, you send to jail. But this one, the Inspector General of Police through us is saying, say no to criminality, say no to cultism, do not even attempt it. And if you've been there, you have the right to come out. And that is just what we're about. It's another arm of crime fighting in the country, so that members of the public don't have to go to jail before they say no. So it's an opportunity for them to make a choice of either going to jail or of either being arrested or of saying no to criminality and having their lives be rehabilitated and being reintegrated into the community.
She added that the visit was to brief the Deputy Governor, Sir Monday Oyeme, who is a grand patron of the body, of efforts made so far and their challenges. I am Pere Botu reporting.
Delta State joined the rest of the country to observe the World Health Day. The state government has restated its commitment to ensuring that every citizen has access to quality health care services without discrimination. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joseph Onojame, stated this today at an event to mark the World Health Day with the theme, My Health, My Rights. Bridget Agetu reports.
The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joseph Onojame, noted that in a world where inequalities persisted and access to basic healthcare remained a challenge for many, it was imperative for people to recognize and assert their right to good health. He pledged that the government will continue to implement policies aimed at promoting public health and preventive care, adding that there were enough commodities in the state to meet the demand for family planning services and vaccines for children and adults. The Health Commissioner also advised all to make informed decisions about their health and well-being.
Millions around the globe are denied this basic right due to various factors such as poverty, inadequate health care infrastructures, discrimination, and social determinant of health. The Ministry of Health understands the importance of prioritizing health as a basic human right. Our government is committed to ensuring that every citizen have access to quality health care service without discrimination.
The state coordinator of the World Health Organization, Dr. Faith Iriye, said health was not only a fundamental human right, but also essential to peace and prosperity, adding that the WHO will continue to accelerate progress towards universal health coverage and addressing health inequalities, which require international efforts, especially for vulnerable groups.
In Delta State, we are privileged to witness the tireless effort of health professionals, and many of them are here today, policymakers and individuals alike, who work tirelessly to promote health equality and access to quality health services for all.
The World Health Day observance featured a roadwork by stakeholders, sensitizing people on the need to care for their health. Bridget Agetu reporting.
The state government has directed authorities of public schools to work together to ensure that the lost glory of public schools is restored. The chairman of the State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, Honorable Samuel Mariri, who disclosed this, said all stakeholders must take responsibility to achieve the governor's directive. Honorable Mariri, in a meeting with the local education authority school heads and other relevant stakeholders, said the state government was concerned at the way and manner educational amenities in public schools were being vandalized, calling on the school-based management committees to support the government to protect and improve the standard of education at the primary school level. He noted that the only way to restore quality education back was to get it right at the elementary stage. saying that was why it was the desire of the Delta State government that all hands be on deck to accomplish the goal. The SUBEB chairman disclosed that the government had made provision for the training of teachers in the state, while appealing to the school authorities to join hands with government to provide quality public education to Deltas. Honorable Marire paid a visit to the traditional ruler of Ope Kingdom, Orure I, where he intimidated the monarch of the government's vision to restore educational standard in the state. The royal father pledged the support of his people to the government's mission. The federal government has declared Tuesday and Wednesday, April 9 and 10, public holidays to mark the Eid al-Fitr celebration. Minister of Interior Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who made the declaration in a statement on behalf of the federal government, congratulated Muslims on the successful completion of the fasting in the holy month of Ramadan. The statement called on the celebrants to imbibe and practice the virtues that entailed kindness, love, tolerance, peace, good neighborliness, and compassion, as exemplified by the Holy Muhammad. It urged Nigerians to continue in the spirit of unity towards peace and oneness in the country. Abia State Governor Mr. Alex Oti has said the cost of governance in the state has drastically reduced since he took charge of the affairs of the state 10 months ago. He stated this at the weekend during his monthly media chat at the government house in Umuahia, the state capital, adding that he had banished frivolous spending in his government. Mr. Oti stressed that he had not borrowed a dime for the ongoing road projects across the state, explaining that the funding was made possible by the reduction in cost of governance. He said his administration had deployed effective management of resources and expenditure, adding that hence the state was keeping to its promise of using Abia State money to work for the state. The economist and former bank chief stressed that the era of frivolous spending was gone in Abia State, pointing out that if any expenditure was not necessary, it would be left out. He said the Debt Management Office, DMO, had vindicated his administration, as the agency did not list Abia in its latest report on states that had borrowed money. On inherited pension arrears, the Abia governor declared that he had cleared the debts owed retirees in the state, adding that it was an aberration if any retiree did not receive the bank alert for the payment. He, however, promised that those affected would be cleared and paid like their counterparts. A 37-year-old engineer, Mr. Omobayo Godwin, has been sworn in as the new Deputy Governor of Edo State. Mr. Godwin, who was named by Governor Godwin Obaseki shortly after the impeachment of the former Deputy Governor, Mr. Philip Shuaibu, was sworn in today by Justice Daniel Okungbowa at the Government House in Benin City, the state capital. Mr. Shuaibu's impeachment today followed the adoption of the report of a 7-man committee set up by the Chief Judge of Edo State, Justice Daniel Okungbowa, to investigate allegations of misconduct against the Deputy Governor. The development comes as a federal high court in Abuja was to resume sitting in the lawsuit filed by Mr. Shuaibu to challenge the Edo State House of Assembly's plan to impeach him. Last week, the Edo House of Assembly started the impeachment proceedings against him. 21 of the 24 lawmakers who signed a petition to that effect accused the Deputy Governor of perjury and disclosure of the state government's secret. During plenary last Tuesday, the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Honorable Blessing Agbebaku, told the lawmakers that the 7-day ultimatum granted the Deputy Governor to respond to the impeachment notice served on him had expired. Still to come, makeshift ferry disaster kills 96 in Mozambique. These and many more stories will come your way after the short break. Stay with us. Have been advised to key into the peace agenda of the present administration in order to enjoy the dividends of democracy. The Special Advisor to the Governor on Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, gave the advice while speaking on a Voice of Delta program, the fourth agenda. Violet Moye reports.
Chief Uzo said Delta State was known for its peaceful nature, saying the peace should be maintenance for development and investment to continue to strive. He noted that in recent times, some communities in the state had been at loggerheads and called on those involved to observe peace approach in order to normalize peace in their communities. The special advisor cited the inter- and intra-communal crisis which erupted recently between Oforibala in Ugeli South local government area and Bekebo in Burutu local government area communities as a case study, saying the Oborewori administration was interested in resolving all lingering crises in the state.
Conflicts can be interpersonal, that is between individual and the community. It can be intracommunal among individuals in the same community. An intercommunal conflict, that is between one community and another community.
Chief Uzo enjoined Deltans to remain peaceful in all their doings, listen to advice, and promote the governor's gospel of peace at all times. He pledged to do his best to ensure that the state was totally at peace while assuring Deltans that the state was safe for businesses and investors. The special advisor urged aggrieved parties not to take laws into their hands, but rather engaged in dialogue and consult the necessary authorities.
And I advise Deltans to be peaceful in their approach, to listen to talks, to listen to elders, listen to opinion leaders, listen to the peacemakers, peace builders, listen to governor's gospel all the time, as it has to do with peace, that all of us should live in peace. We must preach peace, we must do peace, we'll continue to live in peace, because once we live in peace, developments are bound to come.
Violet Moye reporting.
Scene is next as we join our World News Desk. Nicaragua called on the United Nations top court to halt German military aid to Israel, arguing that Berlin's support enables acts of genocide and breaches of international humanitarian law in Gaza. The case at the International Court of Justice is against Germany, which is the second largest supplier of arms to Israel after the US, but it also indirectly took aim at Israel's 6-month-old military campaign, which has left tens of thousands of Palestinians dead and devastated Gaza. Nicaragua's allegations represent the latest legal attempt by a country with historic ties to the Palestinian people to stop Israel's offensive, after South Africa accused Israel of genocide at the court late last year. They also came amid growing calls for Israel's allies to stop supplying the country with weapons, and as some supporters, including Germany, have grown more critical of the war. Kenyan doctors working in public hospitals have vowed not to go back to work, despite President William Ruto's appeal to end the weeks-long strike that has hampered health services in the country. The Kenyan Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union went on strike on March 14 over the non-payment of salary arrears, delays by the government to deploy medical interns, and other grievances. President Ruto urged the striking doctors to reconsider their stance, saying that his government was unable to meet their demands due to the ballooning wage bills. A makeshift ferry boat has sunk off the north coast of Mozambique, killing 96 people, including children, the authorities said today, raising an earlier death toll. Officials said the converted fishing boat, carrying about 130 people, ran into trouble late yesterday as it was trying to reach an island off Nampula province. According to Nampula Secretary of State Jamin Neto, most of those on board were trying to escape the mainland because of a panic caused by disinformation about cholera. Authorities said the boat was believed to have sunk as it was overcrowded and unsuited to carrying passengers. Rescuers have found 11 survivors and search operations are continuing. Let's join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, has revealed that the United Arab Emirates, UAE, has concluded plans to resume flights in Nigeria. This followed numerous visits from President Bola Tinubu to the UAE over the communication breakdown between both countries. Speaking on a television program, Mr. Keyamo said the Emirates airline had already indicated its readiness in a letter sent to the government explaining that what transpired during the earlier visit and the resolution was not fake, but was presented in a hasty manner. Apart from Emirates suspending flights to Nigeria, in 2022, the UAE Immigration Department notified its trade partners and the travel agencies that it was stopping visa application from 22 countries, 20 of which were African nations. In spite of the economic challenges that pushed Nigeria's economy into recession in 2020 and triggered rise in inflation rate to 31.7% in February this year, Nigerian banks have continued to record improved financial performance and strength with key indices within regulatory benchmarks. For example, the capital adequacy ratio of banking industry, a key measure of financial soundness, stood at 13.7% as of January this year. Similarly, the non-performing loans as a ratio of total loans stood at 4.81% in January and also well below regulatory maximum of 5%. Another measure of financial soundness, the liquidity ratio of the industry, stood at 40.14% in January and also well above the regulatory minimum of 30%. In addition to this, banks have continued to support economic activities with increased lending. This is reflected in 94% growth in credit to the private in 1 year to 80.86 trillion naira in February 2024 from 41.75 trillion naira in February 2023. However, the quest for $1 trillion economy, a key objective of the current administration, implies that banks need to increase their support for the economy. This is reinforced by the fact that Nigeria has one of the lowest of credit to private sector as percentage of gross domestic products, GDP, in the world. World Bank data showed that Nigeria's credit to private sector as percentage of GDP stood at 14.1% in 2022, far below 19.6% achieved in 2019 and the 90.7% average for the BRICS countries. According to the World Bank, credit to private sectors as percentage of GDP as at 2022 for Brazil is 71.8% in 2022, Russia 54.4%, India 50.4%, China 184%, and South Africa 92.5%. Thus, to achieve the 90.17% average credit to private sector as percentage of GDP for BRICS, Nigerian banks will have to increase lending support to the economy by almost six-folds.
Sports. World record holder in the women 100-meter hurdles, Toby Amusan, is shifting her focus to the 2024 Olympics in Paris, France. Amusan and her handlers have trimmed the number of races she would run in the build-up to the Games in August. She will contest with some of the world-class women athletes, to include Danielle Williams, Jasmine Camacho Quinn, who won the Olympics 2020 gold medal, and Divine Charlton, world indoor champion. Amusan, who set the world record of 12 seconds at the 2021 World Championship in Oregon, USA, is one of the favorites to win the gold, the only medal missing in her collection. Christians have been admonished not to live their lives as if they are the owners of themselves. Reverend Father Augustine Okoromi of the St. Martin's Catholic Church, Osisa, gave the admonition during the funeral service for retired Major Babs Usman Agali at the St. Andrew Catholic Church, Ogume, in Ndokwa West Local Government Area. Pere Boto has details.
The Catholic priest said everyone would one day depart from the earth and would give account of his life to God, adding that the way a person lived would determine where he would spend eternity. He noted that a lot of persons were living their lives without the consciousness that they would die, and advised the congregants that preparation for eternity was the sum total of how a person lived while on earth. Reverend Father Okoroin told the people to always ask themselves the question of where they would want to spend eternity in order for them to prepare, as death would come one day. He urged the people to live a life of impact and shun acts that would prevent them from spending eternity in heaven. The funeral service of Major Babs Usman Agali attracted several dignitaries, including the State Deputy Governor, Sir Monday Oyeme, immediate past Governor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, Honorable Charles Emetelu, member representing Ndokwa West constituency in the State House of Assembly, retired Rear Admiral Mike Honor, retired Brigadier General Mike Undubisi, Commandant of the Nigerian Army School of Supply and Transport, Major General Nanshak Shagaya, and the Managing Director of Desopadec, Chief Festus Oshonogo. Others are Commissioners for Finance, Sir Fidelis Tilije, Urban Renewal, Honorable Michael Anoka, Science and Technology, Honorable Daniel Odige, PDP Chairman Delta North, Elder Moses Idu, PDP State Secretary Chief Dan Osai, Chief Obi Nzete, former Deputy Speaker Honorable Ocho Osho, and members of the retired Army, Navy and Air Force officers and their spouses, among others. A reception for guests held at the Ogume Grammar School after the interment. I am Pere Botu reporting.
And now our thoughts for the day. If you get into the habit of doing things only when it is easy, you will never develop the character that sustains success. To end the Delta Television main news, here's our highlight for our top stories. Governor Sharif Oborevwori has said his administration has completed numerous projects across the 3 senatorial districts of the state, billed for inauguration as part of activities to mark his first year in office. Governor Oborevwori said this while inspecting the Edo Road in Ugeli, the Emevo Orogun Road in Isoko North, the bridge across the Obo River at Ogwashuku in Sector C1 of the Ugeli-Asaba Road dualization, and the 5.3 kilometers Opanam Ibuzo bypass road in Oshimili North Local Government Area. As Delta joined, we told you that as Delta joined the rest of the country to observe the World Health Day, the state government has restated its commitment to ensuring that every citizen has access to quality health care services without discrimination. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joseph Onojame, stated this today at an event to mark the World Health Day with the theme, My Health, My Rights. The federal government has declared Tuesday and Wednesday, April 9 and 10, public holidays to mark the Eid al-Fitr celebration. A makeshift ferry boat has sunk off the north coast of Mozambique, killing 96 people, including children. That's our package for our main news. Many thanks for watching. I am Mora Isupa. On behalf of the editor and the news production crew, we are wishing you a wonderful night rest. Good night.